guy that works the hour, right? And yet other times he's saying, way over here, unless you do these things like feed the hungry and give drink to the thirsty and clothe the naked and visit the hospital, sick in the hospitals, the prisoners, bury the dead, well, then you'll be in the goats and you'll be thrown outside. I mean, where is this Jesus? Is he over? Who is he?
Because he's got.
Confusing, right?
Not everybody's gonna be given the opportunity when they're gonna die to cleanse their,
Yeah.
cleanse their sins and
Yeah.
make peace with God.
Yeah.
And Jesus is, by living correctly and with Jesus, that's letting us live our best life possible on this earth.
What if I don't do it till the last hour? Or I live my whole
Yes,
life?
that'll be something we will find out later.
So what do you think? What do you think that's all about? I mean, when we really cut to the chase, what do you think that's all about? Why is Jesus over there sometimes, and why is he over there sometimes?
Don't you think, like raising children, you have different personalities, different needs,
Yep.
and you correct them differently.
Mm-hmm.
You might be really hard on one, but they have a personality that needs that, and lenient on another one, because that's the personality that needs that.
Yeah. So is he trying to say, some of you may hear this message over here, some of you may hear this message over here, but I want you all to hear the message, whether, in other words, there's not one message like down the center, like this is the message. Or do you think it's such a broad message that people can tag into and say, I demand justice? Great, well, come on over here and you'll get it. Well, I want you in. And I don't like justice, I like mercy. Great, you love mercy? Great, you're in. 'Cause I think that's just to his point, is it seems confusing to us wherever we're looking at it from. From Jesus' perspective, we say, I'm gonna appeal to the people way over here, and I'm gonna appeal to the people way over here,
It's not either or.
because I want them all. Which is very hard for us, because we want to think, well, my way or our narrower way is the way. And Jesus is sort of saying, on one hand, mercy, on the other hand, wow, big judgment for all those people out wailing and gnashing of teeth. Right, we hear both. Some people need to be scared, some people need to be kind of pampered and brought in. Yeah, go ahead, Dorothy, let me get to her first then.
Okay, Jesus is saying to follow him, I must give away all of my wealth, which won't take long.
He said it to the rich young man, that isn't what he said to you.
Then I become a beggar.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it as he's saying that to you. He's saying it to him because he had an obstacle.
Well, I mean, isn't he teaching everyone?
No.
Okay, because see, then I reflect back on, now I know I use Bill Gates as an example.
Right.
And with all his big bucks, I mean, he has given computers to
Right.
the underprivileged, and if he hadn't done that, they would not have it. So
He doesn't tell everybody that,
I
right?
just,
He's telling this one man because this man has an obstacle between him
well,
and
see,
God.
that isn't the way I read it. So
That's okay.
this is where I get it.
Well, it may be speaking to you then, but it doesn't speak to me that way. I don't see him saying, rich young man, go sell all your possessions, because that's not an obstacle.
You see,
But if I have another obstacle, and I read and go, oh, that's my obstacle.
what little bit I can help the poor today, I mean, it's not much, but then I wouldn't have anything to help them,
Right.
and then I'm one of them.
Yeah.
And
So you
I got my
discern
hand.
for yourself that particular passage is something you aren't going to live. But it may be okay because it's not an obstacle between you and God. Does that keep you from practicing your faith?
Oh, absolutely.
Does it keep you from or does it get you to church because you have a car to drive to church?
Right.
And you have a home to protect you, and so, yeah. So again, he's talking to a particular person about a particular spiritual obstacle that he has to deal with, and it is his possessions. Just think if he went to Scrooge in Christmas Carol, right? And told Scrooge, now Scrooge, now you would know that what he was gonna talk about right away was he's a miser, right? He's gonna talk about possessions, right? So that would make perfect sense he's talking to Scrooge about that, but he's not gonna talk to the little kid that, Tiny Tim, about his possessions, right? He has nothing, so each person is uniquely, in a relationship with God, yeah. So I wouldn't worry about that one for yourself. I mean, it's something to always look at, say, is this the obstacle for me? It might be.
And it might not be money.
Right.
Can be some other, can be some other attachment,
Yeah.
not possessions. And it can be a person, it can be a thing, it can be whatever is an obstacle between me and God.
Giving more time, volunteer work or work.
Well, it could be an obstacle, I'm talking about an obstacle, so it could be you're obsessed with,
okay.
I'll just give an example. Men might be
Okay.
obsessed with pornography, women might be obsessed with fashion,
Clothes.
and clothes, and shoes, and kind of, what do you spend your free time? Oh, I love to look at fashion magazines, and I like to buy stuff, and I'm a hoarder, and I buy, can't have enough. And that's your focus. If that's your focus on God. So for one person, it's physical objects, women, for another person, it's fashion, for another person, it's, whatever those attachments are, that in a sense become an obstacle between your relationship with God. And identifying which that is. Now, don't mention golf, that is not an obstacle. Get from God, and just let's not go there.
Struck a nerve there.
I always preempt the strike.
And let's put purgatory into the matrix too, because these people who live it and then last minute conversions, they're gonna have to spend an
Yeah,
awful long
well,
time in
yeah.
purgatory.
Well, we don't know that though, necessarily.
Well,
We don't know what purgatory is exactly.
we don't know, but we know that it's gonna clean us up afterwards,
But it
so.
could be a real fast clean.
Yeah, we hope it was there.
Now, yesterday, when I went to confession, one of the things that Father Adam and I talked about was this confusion. You know, it seems to be contradictory. And what I took away from it, pretty wise for such a young man, was that basically Catholicism, Christianity itself, is really not a destination so much as it's a journey.
Right.
The fact that, when we talked about the Nicodemus Club,
Mhm.
the fact that one of the purposes of it seeming contradictory is to make us search for answers.
Mhm.
That in searching for those answers, we're searching for God and we're searching for Jesus.
And also
And-
searching ourselves.
And what we've got to do, and what at least I've got to do, mostly, is to back up from the frustration of not ever knowing.
Right.
But to know, know that it's not perfect, because you're not ever going to know, but you need to keep searching.
Yeah.
I mean, that's to me.
And uncertainty is a big part of the journey.
Yeah.
And that faith and trust in God.
And you have to trust and faith that eventually, if you keep searching, you're gonna know, even though you probably won't be here when you find out.
Right, not fully.
So that, I mean, it really
Yeah.
helped me yesterday,
That's good.
talking to them
That's
about
good,
that.
yeah.
So confession did help,
Yeah.
but the old Protestant
Yeah.
has a hard time dealing
Yeah,
with that.
that's okay. But going back to your question about does God's mercy encourage another person to sin? My standard response to that is whenever God is merciful, hopefully the person that Jesus says it very well, is forgiven the most, also loves the most, right? Remember the woman who had much sin in her life, and Jesus said, well, the reason she loves the most is because she has the most reason to love, right? Because she's a sinner, big sinner. And so she loves more because her sins were huge and they were forgiven. Whereas the self-righteous person, not very grateful, not very loving,
Not very forgiving either.
not very forgiving because they're good, right? The elder brother a little bit, and the prodigal son's a little bit like that, okay? So when we're like a teenager, and we think about taking advantage of our parents or taking advantage of our teachers or our coaches or those that are older, we are in this mode of, well, I'm gonna get what I can, you know, it's about me and getting, you know, the easiest, the best grades for the least work, you know, the most money for the least effort, you know, all those kind of things. We can be in kind of this selfishness, this grabbing at all these things. And so when someone is able to be taken advantage of as an immature person, we take advantage of them. We don't have a curfew, then we'll stay out later. If we get forgiven quickly, we'll sin because, you know, why not, right? But as we mature, hopefully our attitudes change and then we say, it's out of God's love for me that He's merciful. And then if He's that merciful, then why would I want to hurt someone who is so good and all deserving of my love, as we say in the Educated Christian? You know, why does a spouse not cheat on their spouse? Why does a parent not abuse their child? Because they don't want to hurt them, because they love them, right? Well, we evidence our love for God by not sinning. At some point, we grow up and realize, if I really if I really walk the walk, and I actually do what I say and profess, I would not want to hurt a God that I say that I love, right? I would not want to sin. I would not want to take advantage of His mercy. See what I mean? So I would rather take up my cross and suffer and sacrifice for that God so that I don't hurt Him and I love Him. Do we sacrifice for our spouses? Do we suffer for our spouses? Not even one? Come on, sure we do, don't we? Do we suffer for our children?
Mhm.
Do we suffer for our loved ones? Yeah. And we're glad to do it. Because would we rather have ourselves suffer, or would we rather make them suffer? Think about being a parent. If one of you had to be struck down with an illness, would you take it, or would you want your kid to have it? You'd answer that in a second. Oh, I would rather have it, right? Mac in the Shack, for those of you who got to see the movie. 3 kids go to heaven, or 2 kids go to heaven, 3 kids go to hell. You choose. No, I can't choose. Oh yeah, you have to choose. You have to choose. Right? Miserable scene. And what does he say in the end? I'll go. Take me. Right? So it's very natural for us because we love to operate that way. So so the question is, when we are in this loving relationship with God, do we act that way? Or are we back in middle school, see what I can get away with, and I'll go to confession, and I'll be better, and I'll get away with some more stuff. See, is that where we're at when we're our age? Maybe we're like when we're 12, we can't stay there. You know? So when the Father forgives, hopefully we say, as a 12-year-old, good, I get to sin more. That makes sense. Probably what we should be saying. Take advantage of God. Because at some point we got to realize that's not the right way. That's like trial and error, right? That we had to make the error to realize what the right thing is. But at some point we realize that is an error. At some point in our maturity say, I used to do that, but that's wrong. He doesn't deserve that, right? And then go from there and say, now what does he deserve? And that is all my love, and I don't want to hurt him. That makes sense? So it's by him giving his mercy, hopefully he teaches us love. Make sense? My alarm is going off, which means I have to...
But God does have put limits on us, because if we don't really seek his forgiveness truly, he won't forgive us. We have to really be contrite, and that's it. So
Right.
even he puts limits
Yeah,
on us.
he has a great desire to forgive us,
Yeah.
but we have to do our
It's up
part.
to us, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like I said,
even he puts limits on
like I
us.
said last week, if a person goes into confession, and even though he might profess the sin, if the priest says, but you don't seem very sorry, I'm not sorry at all, then the priest has to say that I can't give you absolution, because you have to have a contrite heart. And you have to desire not to do it again. And if your plan is, not only that you were glad you did it, but you're gonna do it again, and you want to, you're not sorry, are you? Nope, not a bit. Okay. But if you are truly sorry, even if you might commit it again, but you desire for the grace, or you desire not to commit that sin again, then you're okay, right? So we have to be careful not to be back in middle school the rest of our whole lives. I'm not big on middle schoolers in particular. Maybe it's even younger than that, but you get the idea, don't you? That as we mature, we see God as someone who deserves our love because he doesn't force it on us. We want to give it to him, as opposed to when we're little kids, see what I can get away with. You know, it's a whole different look. At least that's how I grew up. I grew up trying to game the system from the time I was a little kid to, what do I have to get my ice cream bar, or what do I have to get my allowance, or what do I have to do to not, and always trying to figure out how to, navigate the territory, How far can I push mom and dad before I get punished? Oh, there's the boundary. Got it. I go right there. Oops, slipped over that one. Well, at least now I know where it is, and I know we're going to across it again, right? So you gotta
probably have
know.
siblings that
Yeah.
didn't think like that.
Yeah.
That just did the right thing.
Yeah, yeah. And how did they turn out? That's always the question. Because I'm convinced that those of us that sinned a lot recognized it, like a younger brother, the prodigal son story, and probably overcame it. But if you've never sinned, then sometimes those righteous people never see it. They never get it. They're just good their whole lives, but they never really stumbled enough to realize there was another way.
You have to move on.
And I do, or else my holy permanent deacon director will be wondering where I am. So let's close with prayer. And then next week, Gene will be here, and you'll be doing the last from 34 to 40. Okay? Sorry I can't be here, but like I said. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
Almighty God bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.